Hello, Tommy here again. Uh, what you see here is a box. Although it looks like a letter J, it is a J box. It's a project I made for my wife to give someone for Christmas, and the rest of this video is going to show how I made it. It's made out of cedar. I took a piece of 3/4 inch cedar board and layered it so it's an inch and a half thick, just starting out. I made a J out of inkscape, the right size that I wanted, and mounted it as a pattern, and that's what I started with. So we'll move over to the scroll saw and I'll show you how I cut this and how it went. Alright, checking my blade there. I have trying something different here. I have some pin end blades, it's a little larger blade. Cutting this outside, and it's a non-reverse tooth. We're going to see if this works. I'm not sure how well it's going to cut and make these turns, but it's not real sharp turns, so I think maybe we can do it. So we're going to give it a shot. Now that blade cut remarkably well with the grain, not so well across the grain, which is kind of unusual. But let me get that out of there and we'll see what we got to do with it. A lot of sawdust hanging it up. First, you want to make sure your blade is straight. There we go. So we've cut out a J about 1.5 inches thick. And now I'm going to see about cutting top and bottom out of it. May even do that on the bandsaw this time, I'm not sure. I can do it here. So let me try to mark that, figure out where I'm going to cut it, and then we'll take another look at it. Okay, so I've managed to mark it, give me some kind of a gauge to go by. I could cut this on the bandsaw, but I've got a bargain basement model. It's very difficult to cut a good line with it. I use it mainly for rough cutting. This scroll saw will cut a much better line and more precise if I don't mess it up here. So we're going to try to do this. I kind of got me a mark to go by, and we'll see if we can cut us off a bottom and a lid. Got a little zero tolerance base that I use here for some things I'm going to use, because the top of that J wants to hang in this hole right here. And it makes it hard to get that cut started. So we're going to, there we go, using the wrong tool. We're going to put it in place, if I can, and we'll try again. All right, so I got this in place. All it is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. It was kind of tricky since I really kind of made it for a pinless blade, and I've got a pin end blade. I had to kind of wrangle it around to get it in there, but I got it through and we're all hooked up now. I think it'll help get this cut started because I got a better base to work against here. So we're going to try to take the lid off now. All right. That worked okay. Yes, they'll be slow and deliberate, especially in those thick places. Hopefully all this will match up well. I may have to do a little sanding to get it going, but now I got to figure out how much I'm going to cut out the inside to make a box. It won't be a lot, but we'll make a little bit of a box in there. So I'll be back when I figure that out. All right, so I managed to cut somewhat of a cavity in it. Didn't really want a lot. I kind of used those lines as a guideline. Didn't want to cut any larger than that. Now I kind of clean that up and glue the bottom back on it, and then I'm going to cut the top part of this. Lay that down and cut the top part of that to use as the bottom of this top lid. That's what we're going to try anyway. So let me get this out of here and we'll work on that. So that's the top. I'm going to try to cut a 1/4 inch or a little less off of that. Doesn't have to be exact. I don't really have to have the whole thing, but I need something to put on there to kind of keep the lid in place. Yeah. See what I can do to secure it. Here we go. We're going to try to cut this. All right. That blade is cutting that wood pretty well. Okay, so now I'm going to go work, see if I can get the bottom back on that box and see if I can get the lid secured. Okay, so I've got the bottom glued on. Sanded it. Looks pretty good. Didn't take much sanding. Just kind of mainly get the excess glue and try to make the line as seamless as possible. Kind of like the way it's turned out so far. I'm going to try to get the lid on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, this is the piece that I took out, cut out. I'm going to drop it right down in there. Just like that. And I got a little piece of paper cut to give me a little bit of a spacer. I'm going to drop right there like that. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. This is it, I believe. There you go. Got it in there. Now I'm going to put this piece, I want this piece glued on the bottom of the lid. So I'm going to drop that right in there. That keeps it lined up, plus that little bit of paper keeps it raised enough so that I make contact with the bottom of the lid. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on that, not a lot. A bit right there. A bit right there. Kind of spread it around just a little bit. And I'm going to stick this on top. And I'm going to line it up where it's in line with the rest of the box. Get all those surfaces lined up together. And that looks real good. It feels real good, feeling it around. So I'm going to put a clamp on that. Just gently clamp it down. Put a little bit of pressure on it and go back and feel everything again. Feels pretty good. Clamp it on down. Looks like I'm going to have to do some more clamping here. Okay, I wanted to finish off this. Finally finished this little project. I wanted to wind up the video on it. I'm calling this a J box. It's a Christmas present. Making it for my wife to give someone. I just made a J in Inkscape, made it the right size, and then I've layered 2 pieces of cedar. Made it 1.5 inches or so thick. Didn't go the full 2 1/4. I didn't want it to be that big. Cut the J out. Actually, it worked much better than I thought it would. cut that J out and made the little box in the same technique I did with the little cedar box already posted. That's just a real simple, kind of a crude basic technique. And I made a little cavity there. She's going to put something in there and give it as a present. Then I sealed it with just some clear spray. I like to seal things some, but mainly I like to do it because it really brings the grain out on the thing. It really highlights the differences in the layers of the grain, and it just kind of seals it and gives it a finished look. But that's the J-box. That's going to be a Christmas present. I'll be posting this video before Christmas, but probably right close to Christmas. That's just that just shows you what you can do with that little simple technique I showed on the cedar box a few videos ago. I'm going to get into some different box making. That's just a real simple basic technique, and wasn't sure this was going to work, but it did. It worked better than I thought it would. So if you enjoy this, and if you're learning anything or getting some good ideas from this, well, please hit the like button on this video and hit the subscribe button, and I'm going to try to do more stuff like this, just kind of seat of the pants scrolling without a real pattern a lot of times. Make my own pattern or make something up as I go. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next video.